Hi, my name's Ellie and I'm 5 years old and I already adopted. And Nora and Thomas and Doyen are adopted already.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking about adoption. Our family has adopted 4 times and we're going to talk all about that today and answer your questions. Our family has grown through adoption and we wanted to answer questions from our viewers because it is so near and dear to my heart. I tried to do this without any kind of guidance and just talking about it, and I talked way too long and the video was like 30 minutes long of just me talking at the camera. So we're not going to do that today. I asked people on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram for questions. I really appreciate everyone who asks questions and we're going to answer them today. One thing we won't talk about ever on this channel is why our kids were adopted or why they came into foster care, so I just wanted to give you that little heads up. And also, this is our experience and our experience only. It doesn't make it right, it doesn't make it wrong, it doesn't make anyone else's experience right or wrong. We're just talking from our heart and how it went for us. I'm going to be looking at my phone because I have the notes. I didn't memorize the questions. The first question is, why talk about adoption publicly? And the answer to that is, I want other people who might have a heart for adoption, or maybe who's just thought about it once or twice throughout their lives, to make that into a reality, because it is a really big change. It's a really big thing to do, and it's not something to be taken lightly. So I think that if we talk about our experiences, that might encourage someone to go out there and do the same thing. Or even fostering, because fostering, there's so many kids out there that need a home. They need a family. If you have it in your heart and in your lives and the abilities to do that, to bring somebody into your home, that it's the most amazing thing you'll ever do in your whole entire life for you, and you will change a person's life, a child, whether it be an infant or an 18-year-old. You're going to make the hugest impact on their world. The next question is, why foster to adopt rather than private adoption or an international adoption? And the question is really a good one. We looked into all of the options for adoption and we chose foster care because we knew that there was going to be a wait. We knew that we weren't going to just turn in our paperwork, here's our paperwork, and now give us a baby. No, that's not how life works, okay? Any kind of adoption, there's a process, there's waiting, there's the unknown, there's things that can change at the very last minute. When you thought everything was all lined up and all your I's were dotted and your T's were crossed, something changes and the adoption doesn't happen. And so we thought, instead of just sitting around with an empty home waiting for that to happen for us, that we could be helping somebody who's in foster care while we wait for the one that we get to adopt. We didn't get into it thinking every child that's going to come in our home is going to be the one we adopt. No, we were in it to foster, but we did have the end goal of adoption. And I know that that can be a bit of a hot topic, that a lot of people don't think you should get into fostering to adopt, but we did because we wanted to adopt. We knew the end goal is always reunification in foster care. Always. The end goal is always reunification. But if a child did not get reunified and we got to adopt, then that's what our end goal is. So I just want to repeat that. We know that the goal in foster care is to reunify. But while we wait for a child to be able to adopt who doesn't get to reunify, that's why we got into foster to adopt, so that we could be helping someone while we waited to be able to adopt. Okay, so if you have any questions about that, feel free to comment below. We'd be happy to answer more questions on that. But I'm going to move on. I just know it's a hot topic. A lot of people don't like when people get into foster care to adopt. This is just our experience. What drew you to adoption? Well, adoption is kind of prevalent in my family. My mom and my aunt were both adopted as infants, and my sister-in-law was also adopted. I just always felt pulled to it. Before I ever met my husband, I would pass a billboard for foster care, and I always got that little feeling in my heart that I wanted to do that, but I didn't think that I was able to do that at the time because I was a single mom and I wasn't making six figures, and I thought you had to make a lot more money than what I was making. Had I known what I know now, I know I probably could have done it, but I'm glad I didn't because that was obviously the journey I was supposed to take with my husband and not just by myself. Is adoption expensive, and how do you get the process started? Adoption is expensive if you do private adoption. However, private adoption or international adoption, it can be as expensive as whatever route you go. I'm not going to speak to that. We did look into it and it is expensive. We were willing to spend the money on it, but we ended up going the foster care to adopt route, which it is free in our county. It is 100% free. I am not going to speak to how much it costs in other states or other counties. All I can say is that in our county, in our state, it was completely free. How do you get the process started? Well, first you become a foster parent, and then you foster for a while, and then if they become adoptable, then you get to adopt them. However, you don't have to go that route. There are children, and this is not an ad for them, but you can go to adoptuskids.org and you can find children that are already adoptable, and you can try to go that route. You do still, I believe, have to become a foster parent and go through all of that first, or you at least have to get licensed for adoption. We didn't go that route, so I can't speak too much on that. I did research it, but we chose to foster first and not just go for the legally free children. We did actually inquire about a few of them. You can Google your state and adoptable kids, and that will also give you some websites. You can also look on your county website. A lot of times they have their adoptable kids on that site too. I know our county does. Again, we didn't go that route, so I can't really speak to that, but I do know in our county you have to be a licensed foster parent and be licensed to adopt in order to go that route with them. And I am going to do a separate video about becoming a foster parent, so that's why I'm not going too far into that topic. But as far as adopting, you have to foster first if you want to go this route. We obviously know the rewarding aspects of it. What is the hardest part? Honestly, the hardest part is when the child's birth parents' rights are severed. I mean, in order for us to gain what we want, someone else has to lose something. I struggle with that all the time. There's a really cool quote that I actually have posted on my personal Facebook more than once because it really touches how it affects me. A child born to another woman calls me mommy. The magnitude of that tragedy and the depth of that privilege are not lost on me. So in order for us to get to adopt, someone else has to lose something very, very, very important to them. And that hurts my heart so much. The reason that we do it is because while somebody else wasn't able to parent them, we will love them with everything that we have. We will love them as much as my biological son has been loved in his life, and we will do anything. We will go to the ends of the earth for them. So that for me is the hardest part of adoption. Did having siblings born after adoption create a new case? Just because a baby is born after you've adopted does not mean that baby's going to just automatically come into foster care. It doesn't mean that that biological parent is never going to get to parent again. We didn't have that happen, but I can only assume it would create a new case. Once you've adopted a child, if another baby is born to that same biological mother or father, they will usually call you, but you will start all over from day one with that baby, unless for some reason birth mom has already lost their rights to that baby. But you would foster all over again, and she would get the chance to reunify and all of that. Chances are, and every county does everything differently, but from what I've seen, when another child is born after you've adopted their sibling, you will likely get the call for the child, and if you choose to take that child into your home, there will be a brand new case. You will be fostering that child. The biological mother still can get the baby back because she can work her case, because everyone changes, life changes all the time. You don't just automatically get to adopt the next baby. You would start a whole new case. Again, that is what I would assume. Everybody's case is different. If you had something different happen, you can let me know. Do you have an open adoption adoption and or visits with the bio families. Is that difficult for you and or the kids? We, in our state, open adoptions are not legally binding. It's just an agreement that you can make with the biological family. We do have connections with some of the family members of our kids. I'm not going to get into details because that's their story and that's not my story to tell, but we do believe in open adoption as long as it's appropriate. But as soon as it becomes not appropriate, then that's really up to the adoptive parents to make that call. But we 100% believe in keeping biological family in the children's lives as long as it's appropriate. It's actually the 1-year anniversary of adopting Nora and Thomas, which is really, really exciting. We like to celebrate that day as an anniversary, as a positive day in all of our lives. So tonight we're going to go out to dinner, which I'll take you along for that.
Hi, my name's Elliot and I'm 5 years old.
Elliot, what is adoption? You don't know? Are you adopted?
Yes,
How old were you when you were adopted?
I was 2.
It was right before your 2nd birthday. Do you like being adopted?
Yes, so I can live with mommy forever.
That's right. Did you know that Elliot and Nora and Thomas and Dorian were all adopted?
Yes,
And you were the first one, right?
yes. Then Dorian, then Noah, then Thomas.
What are we going out to celebrate tonight?
The adoption of Thomas and Nora.
Do you remember the day you were adopted?
I remember the stairs and someone taking a video of us.
Oh, they're just taking pictures. But yep.
Hi, Noah.
Nora, are you adopted? Yes. Tonight we're going to celebrate your adoption. Yes, wait, Jose. All right, guys, let's go. We're going out to dinner to celebrate. Thank you, Thomas. Such a gentleman. Excited? What are you gonna get?
I'm gonna get the Greek pasta.
Yum. Thomas, what are we out to celebrate tonight?
We're out to celebrate my sister and my adoption.
Awesome. When did the adoption happen?
It was 1 year ago today.
Are you happy you were adopted? Mm-hmm. You are? What is the best thing about being adopted?
Probably having a bigger family.
Awesome. Thomas is going to try a peppercini. Let's see how this goes, folks.
How you doing on sound?
How spicy is it? We're good, thanks. Was it really spicy? Not just a little bit like Dad said.
It's still burning.
To eat a bite of the bread. I'm gonna try a peppercini. Don't take a big bite, buddy. Just a little bit.
Good.
A little bit spicy.
You like it? Good.
Are you being a shy girl? Cuteness. Silly girl. What'd you get, Elliot?
I got french fries and mac and cheese and grapes.
Yum. What'd you get, Thomas?
I got cheesy pasta with Alfredo and french fries and french cheese.
Looks delicious. Nora, what did you get?
What do you call a noodle in disguise?
What?
An impasta.
A noodle in disguise.
And I have another one.
Okay.
Where did the spaghetti go to dance?
Where?
Meatball.
Spaghetti dance.
Got you. Stay over here. Oh, we found Daddy. We're going for free ice cream cones on the first day of spring. Chocolate for Nora. Chocolate for Daddy.
Mom, there's ketchup.
That's okay, we're not eating ketchup on our ice cream.
There you go.
That's how you flip.
Just put that out.
Make a circle and then you push against your thumb. Good job. Alright guys, I think that's all our questions. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys keeping me on track with these questions. If you have any other questions, I would love to answer them in the comments or maybe even make another video in the future. We will be making a foster parent and how to become a foster parent and our experience with foster care, although again, we cannot give any details about the kids in our home, but just being a foster parent. We will be doing a video on that in the future, so if you have any questions, put them in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell so that you're the first to find out when we upload a new video. Thanks for coming along. Bye!